It's a great big storm which is going to redistribute the carts in the next 3 days, closing the entrance door to the Pacific from the south of Australia to the Antarctic, with winds up to 60 knots and 10-meter high waves. It should pass on quickly, but it's going to be violent. We're expecting gusts of up to 50 to 60 knots. It's sure that with SMA we're better positioned than Yan, for instance. These are violent phenomena, speed up below New Zealand, right there below New Zealand, at the bad time, shall we say. So you're going to have to manage. No fooling around. Wind is going to pick up quickly, so I'll need to be able to lower the sails fast without any hitches. In facing this rough weather, Yann Eliès, Jean-pierre Dick and Jean Le Cam have taken radically different options. Jean Le Cam remains southward while slowing down. Jean-pierre Dick is intending to cross the Bass Strait. Yann Eliès is still in the center. Well, all this is starting to weigh on me. I'm sick and tired of having to manage these kind of situations, while my buddies, they don't bother with those things, those considerations. Well, that's the way it is, huh? 2,400 miles onwards, all is well for the two skippers in the lead, Armel Leclerc and Alex Thomson, in the most tactical duel. Well, in terms of strategy, the coming days are going to be a little, let's say, complicated. Gonna switch rhythms a little, change to a calmer mode, which will allow me to breathe, to rest, and do some maintenance. There are a couple little things to attend to. Nothing too serious, but I'm gonna have to do it. So the boat is 100% effective for what's to come next. 12,500 kilometers away, Romain Attanasio is back in the match. Well, my friends, it's moving along, reaching at 35 knots. 35 knots of winds, and the boat is at 22, 23 knots. I'm going to shorten the sails a little because we've got to preserve the equipment. We're in the south. It's windy and it's cold.
Here we are, almost at the top, halfway to the top of the mast of Vase Ocean. Just wanted to come and change the halyard, not change the halyard, but change the way the halyard is going along the mast. We made a mistake in Les Sables, so there you go. So I had to climb up. Nice view from up here. A bit moving all the time though. It's very hard to climb, and God knows how I'm going to go down. Not looking forward to that one, but anyway, it had to be done. So, but I saw that the other day, and no way I could go up. Today is a bit less wavy, still a lot of waves, but nevertheless I had to do it, and I did it.
Hi everybody, well it's a lovely evening down here in the Pacific Ocean. The sun is be setting in a few hours, and it's been a beautiful day. good wind all day, champagne sailing, hardly a cloud in the sky, so it's been good. But things are going to change. The wind is going to start to decrease. I'm going to have to sail right through a high pressure. There's no way of avoiding it. I could have gone south maybe, but there'll still be an awful lot of light wind stuff to do, and eventually it will be some upwind work for me. And upwind on a port tack with no foil would be extremely painful indeed. So east it is for me. East is going to turn into northeast before it can turn into southeast, before I can start heading towards the Horn. So it's going to be a painful few days, I think. But Armel will be in some pain as well, but I think he will probably come out gaining as opposed to me gaining. So it's not great, but nothing I can do about that. The good thing, I guess, is there will be some separation between us, and separation means some leverage, some opportunity. If the wind does change, it gives me an opportunity to try and catch up. If I was following in his wake, there wouldn't be that opportunity. All's good on board. I have got some jobs that need doing. I've got some rope work, a bit of leak detection and leak fixing, which I'm looking forward to getting done. And so these 2 days coming up will be that opportunity. And if I haven't really had any light wind days really since the start, so this is a chance to really give the boat a bit of a health check, look around, catch anything before anything goes wrong, because hopefully I'll be going around Cape Horn around Christmas time, and then it won't be long before I'm back home. Hope all's good for you.
Well, a warm welcome to our English Live on this 8th edition of the Vendee Globe. It's day 39 on the race course. I always love it when we start at 13:02 because that's same time as the race started way back on the 6th of November. Meantime, first on the Vendee Globe history for Jean-pierre Dick as he passes through the Bass Straits north of Tasmania. That's the first time that's ever happened in the history of the race. Meantime, Jean Le Cam and Jan Elias are working through the storm. They've had some pretty tough conditions. A low coming through at the back of the fleet, so that's going to give them a little bit of heat over the next few days. And at the front of the fleet, light winds for the leaders. Some pain for Alex Thomson, losing miles to Armel Leclerc. On the plateau today, our special guest today is Charlie Dalin, a French offshore champion and Southampton-trained naval architect. Charlie's going to give us a lot of insight into lots of different things, Charlie. And Guillaume is joining us to give us an insight into what some of the French skippers have been saying. Sure. And we will be joined by Geraldine Byrne, who's the Irish ambassador here in Paris, who wants to speak to our cultural ambassador out on the high seas, Enda O'Coineen. Meantime, let's start off with our fly through the fleet, our 3D animation, starting from the back of the fleet. And looking at the back, first of all, Roman Attanasio and Sebastien Desmarau are chasing Didac Costa. Seb is a little bit quicker, Didac 350 miles ahead. Meantime, Peter Harima up there in the north. He's got 40 knot stormy conditions. Eric Bellion in the north as well. Meantime, this group of three, Rich Wilson, Rura and Enda O'Coineen all together. Louis Burton still in that frontal system. He's been there for days. It's got his name on it now. Thomas Riong underneath Australia, very much the in-betweener. Then up there into the Bass Straits. Jean-pierre Dick went in there last night and emerging this morning. about 30 knots as he went through, some fantastic helicopter footage. Then moving down to Jan Elias and Jean Le Cam, still in strong conditions in the much further to the south. And then looking at Jeremy Bio going south of Auckland Island. And up at the front, this battle still going on between Armand Lecléache and Alex Thomson. Armand Lecléache just making some gains there in the lighter conditions, but Alex should come back, I think, a little bit tomorrow. So that is our 3D animation. As I say, a few miles being lost by Alex and stronger conditions at the back. A very warm welcome to Geraldine Byrne, our Irish ambassador here. What are your thoughts on Enda's race? What's the following at home in Ireland?
Well, we're all thrilled. I launched the Team Ireland with Enda O'Coineen at the embassy back in September, and we've had lots of interest in Enda's progress. We're very proud of him, an Irishman out on the big seas and carrying, as you said earlier yourself, the whole of the Irish cultural offer with it, but also lots of Irish hearts and minds. So he's well supported.
And Enda, of course, launched his project here a few months ago.
He did indeed. He did it up with us at the embassy, surrounded by lots of members of the Irish community here in France who are watching him carefully. But also, and those of you who know Ireland and our popular culture will know that our pubs are often the place where we really get a chance to enjoy ourselves. And I know in every Irish pub, there's been lots of those following. It's a business Enda knows well himself. Lots of pub owners in France also following Enda.
So a big following in Ireland at the moment.
Absolutely.
And throughout the Irish community.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully we're going to catch up with Enda. I think maybe we can have Enda O'Coineen. Can you hear us? You're live in Paris with your Irish ambassador. Enda, can you hear us?
Bonjour. Comment ça va? It's a lovely day here on the Southern Ocean. We've got 21 knots of wind. We're doing about 16 knots of boat speed. And we're bracing down. There's a big storm coming, so we've decided to take the southern route through the storm. Other boats are going north, so it's all good, but it's not easy. So, Ambassador, it's an honour to have you, and we wish you well, and thanks for your interest in our voyage.
Giogich, Enda, Constatu. This is, I just asked him in the language that we know best, the two of us, how he was. Enda, we're thrilled to hear you online. I've been saying that you're much watched. I'm a bit worried when you say there may be a storm in the area. Is that a main concern at the moment?
Well, it's just life on the ocean wave. We're in the Southern Ocean. We're in what they call the Roaring 40s. We're at latitude south 47 degrees, so that's what it does here. It just blows. So the skill set is navigating through the depressions, and not unlike life itself, navigating through the weather systems as they come through. So sometimes you get particularly nasty ones, but we have very good weather information, and depends on how risk averse you are as well. Some boats prefer to have less risk and go north, sometimes avoid the systems. Sometimes you have no choice. So it's a fact. It's a fact of life, and you just survive through it.
I hear you channeling your inner philosophical, cultural self there on Thoughts on Life. I'm very curious, did you bring reading material with you? I know that the Kilcullen Voyager has a quote from Joyce on its side. Have you got material with you to read? And if so, will you tell us what it is?
Yeah. I've got a lot of electronic books. I've got about 100 different electronic books on my Kindle. So I'm a readaholic. There hasn't been a lot of time in the last few days, and I have several books of poetry. And I also, one of my ambitions has been to play the trumpet, but of course nobody could listen to me practice. So every man must blow his own trumpet. So I have a trumpet on board, so I practice, and there's nobody to give out about me. So this voyage is a challenge. It's a race, and I'm happy to be competitive in the race. I think we're 15th. Out of 29 starters, but really the race is incidental. It's about getting around, and it's about the human adventure. And but having said that, the race does keep you on the edge, and it does keep each other going. And there's company here in the Southern Ocean. I've been racing alongside some other boats, so it could take days to get help, but your fellow competitors will help. So there's that lovely sense of camaraderie. I don't know if that answers your question.
It does, absolutely. It's funny, I was going to ask you if you were getting used to living without stress, but it sounds like there may be a degree of stress in any event involved, or do you find it a much calmer environment?
Well, no pun of the words. It's calm in one sense, but it's wild in terms of wind. It's really you walk out of the world into another world. 2/3 of the world is covered by ocean, so we're on the ocean, totally self-contained. A nuclear bomb could explode, which I hope it never will, and we could sail along happily here. We're totally self-contained. So I think this race, it was very eloquently put by one of the race organisers, you know, why have an event like this with all the problems in the world, the various crises and economic challenges and everything else? But this is really man living with the elements. It's man with nature and celebration of the environment and adventure. And I think that's why in France the race has fired people's imaginations. And I think between Ireland and France, you know, we have a lot in common, particularly in the Western Seaboard and the Atlantic Ocean. And I think there's a strong interest now in Ireland. We're doing a schools program. We did a map of the world, and there's 240,000 maps being printed and have been distributed to schools all over the country. So there's a lot of interest, and that makes it all very, very worthwhile. On a personal basis, accumulation of a lifetime of experience. So I'm honoured for your interest, and also, you know, the interest of people in France has just been, and the support has just been amazing.
Well, Enda, I think that it's absolutely not an understatement to say that you've been inspirational. I know amongst school children and many young people in Ireland who are following what you're doing, but also here in France, in our wider community in France. There has been a development this week that I wanted to mention. You raised poetry there earlier yourself, and you know that a great Irish man of letters, John Montague, who lived in France, passed away this week. And as I speak to you, his funeral is taking place in Dublin. So I'm taking a little liberty here, if I may, just to quote a couple of lines from one of John's wonderful works entitled White Water, which might mean something to you where you are right now. And it's very brief. I'll start. The light, tarred skin of the curragh rides and receives the current, rolls and responds to the harsh sea swell, luminous, bleached, white water, that light in the narrows before a storm breaks. That's the end of the quote from John, but I think it certainly brings to mind some of the experiences that you're living through there, Enda.
Before the storm breaks.
Touché.
Yeah, storm on the ocean, storm in a tempest. Absolutely fabulous. Yeah. So this thank you very much. That's absolutely lovely. This is a good day. There have been some awful days, and I think the psychological part is a big challenge. So thank you for that. It's great encouragement.
We also have Charlie Dallin with us, Enda. We also have Charlie Dallin with us, who's the French offshore champion. He'd like to ask you a question.
Hey, hi, sure. Enda. You've been alone at sea for nearly 40 days now, and like, how do you feel like being alone? Is it something hard to bear for you, or is it something you enjoy, being alone at sea on the other side of Earth at the moment?
No, it's not natural being alone. I like people. It's very antisocial. We almost live together in the world. We can't go off and all be alone. So this is a special form of loneliness. You're isolated, but you're not alone. You could be more alone with the Champs-Élysées, with thousands of people walking up and down the Champs-Élysées, than you would be alone on the ocean. So it's not something I really like. I'm a social person, but it's a challenge. And I think it's also good for us all. We are all individuals. We are all loners. We have to live with ourselves. So we have to get our own minds correct first. And if we get those correct, we can then be part of society. But it's not a natural state of mind. It can be quite dangerous. some people might become insane, or just that I'm saying everybody else is mad. It depends how you interpret it. I don't know if that answers your question, John.
Absolutely, think it does. Enda, just very briefly, how closely do you actually monitor the progress of the competitors around about you?
Yeah, am I monitoring progress?
Yeah, of the competitors round about you.
Yeah, I am, very much so. And there's great, Rick Wilson has been very good at communicating, and Alan Rua is quite limited, but we get close to each other and we talk by VHF. So there is a community, we emote and we connect with each other. We are racing, but you know, not there is that little competitive edge. But yes, there is a strong community, and as you know, I've become president of the South Atlantic Residents Association, and I've been elected president. I'm president-elect, actually. I'm going to be inaugurated on the same day as President Trump. So, you know, they're all members of the South Atlantic Residents, the Southern Ocean. It used to be the South Atlantic, but that's merged with the Indian Ocean residents. So we now have the Southern Ocean Residents Association. So that's a community, and we're very undemocratic. We just decide what to do. But in answer to your question, yes, we have this marvelous community here down at the bottom of the world. I passed through the Kerguelen Islands yesterday, discovered by a Frenchman in 1772. You cannot get any remote place to be, and when you think, you know, how big the world is, and yet most of it is covered by oceans. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, Andy, about community, but yes, we have a little community all of our own down here in the Southern Ocean. Good, as long as you're happy there. Anyway, and once again, a pleasure to speak with you. We'll join you again in a few days on the Kilcullen Voyager, and good luck and good speed in the intervening period. Excellent. Thank you, Ambassador. We're honoured by your taking the trouble today, and I think the connections between Ireland and France are fabulous, and it's great to work and develop those. So happy Christmas.
Enda, we wish you happy Christmas, but also say we look forward to raising a glass with you around St. Patrick's Day on Avenue Foch.
Yeah, brilliant. Look forward to that.
Thanks, Enda.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Geraldine, your thoughts on Enda and his race? I mean, obviously 6 months ago, a year ago, it was just a dream, and there he is out there doing the job.
Actually, it's very heart-lifting to hear someone, because not just am I intrigued by the fact that he's out there, one man on his boat against the elements, but that he's also sort of brought his whole depth of his personality to it, and it seems to be, if I could put it like this, doing him good. I know he sees the risks, but it's really a very positive experience from what he said. So I'm very heartened, and I look forward to telling all the Irish community, as I'll see lots of them over the next few days, that we've been in touch, that we've actually had live contact, and that he's in good shape.
Thanks, Geraldine. Do come back and join us at some point. We'll do this again.
Look forward to it.
Charlie, your thoughts on Enda?
Well, yeah, he's doing a good race, and I think he's really enjoying it. And he's in tough place at the moment, but still, you know, he's available to, you know, to bring us his thoughts and feelings and how the race is going, and it's good. It's very good to see an Irishman in the race and being able to share it.
Very different aspect with his culture and his music and his poetry.
Yeah. And
we've not had that really in the race for quite a long time.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Well, it's part of the Vendee, you know. There's the front runners, the races, and then there is the others. But you know, they're doing something really hard as well, and that deserves to be followed as well.
And Charlie, what do you think of this battle at the front of the fleet then between Armand Leclerc and Alex Thomson?
Well, yeah, it's very hard to imagine how hard that must be, because like they're pushing their boats like to the edge all the time, and it's probably very stressful with all the noise and the water coming on deck and decelerations, accelerations, and it's probably really difficult to sleep and to be able to also manage the boat is very complicated, but without you know breaking anything, you know, like, and so it's very impressive. Like they're having a really good run.
Do you have any split loyalty, having been trained in Southampton and obviously being French?
Well, that's true. You know, I've learned a lot of my sailing in England, so you know, I've got a certain attachment.
Do you know Alex?
No, not.
So you want Armel to win?
No, I want the best to win. You know, like I think having a foreign winner would bring also a lot to the race on the international level. So you know, I just hope like the both of them will get to Les Sables and we'll have a fair fight till the end.
And obviously, as a naval architect, then you're well up on the technology. What's impressed you most with the technology?
Well, obviously, the new thing is this foil technology. You know, it's everywhere. It's in the America's Cup now. It's in the IMOCA class. We are definitely at a turning point in yacht design, and I think in 4 years' time, boats will be even faster. And we every time every edition is the same. You think they can't go faster than this.
So where do we go next, or where are we on that performance curve?
Well, like I imagine the boat now we know that the foils are working. Then the whole design and the boat design will be optimized towards the foil technology. So we probably have like boat which will be less beamy and more reliable on the foil righting moment. So yeah, I think in 4 years' time the boat will be even faster.
We'll come back to you in 1 second, Charlie. Alex Thomson, as we said, has lost a few miles, but he's in great form. Just slightly lighter conditions for him at the moment. He was joined earlier on by Mike Sanderson from the CEO of Doyle Sales. Mike has obviously been in touch with Alex over the course of the race, but this was the first time that they spoke live, and this is what they had to say this morning.
Hello.
Alex, how are you?
Not too bad, Andy. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good. Listen, we have Mike Sanderson with us live, who would like to speak to you. He's in New Zealand.
No worries, Andy. How you doing, Moose?
Yeah, I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. We're I was just saying to Andy, we were just giving them a rundown. You know, the whole of New Zealand has adopted Alex Thomson. So just wanted to say, you know, congratulate you on your race to date, mate. And we're living every minute of it with you. And you know, we're just so super impressed, mate. You're just having a blinder, as we would say.
Yeah, no, it's been good so far. It's a shame I haven't been able to hang on to Armel, but yeah, it is a shame. But if I still have the foil, then it could be a different story. But a bit frustrating at times. But yeah, I'm enjoying it on the whole, and yeah, everything's going pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, your interviews that you're doing off the boat are coming off so well. You know, I mean, just the whole. You know, you're just walking down the street, and I was in a Doyle Sales shirt today because I was just finished work, and someone bailed me up and mentioned that they'd heard that we'd built sails for Hugo Boss and what an amazing race you were having and stuff. So, I mean, you know what New Zealand's like and how obsessive they can be about sailing, and I can assure you that, as I said, we've adopted Alex Thomson down here, and so, you know, it's very exciting to know you're this close, but getting further away from us very quickly, mate. You're just scorching across, and very soon, mate, you're going to be turning left and heading home.
Oh, and I'm looking forward to that, Moose. I tell you, it's looking like maybe Christmas Day or Boxing Day. I'll go around the corner, and yeah, I can't wait for that, man. Actually, I'm most looking forward to getting past the permafront off of Rio, so I can get onto starboard, and I could pretty much be starboard all the way home from there. That's really what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. No, I know, but yeah, I mean, there's a long way to go, mate, and you're doing such a fantastic job of, you know, we can clearly see that you're looking after the boat and looking after the gear so well. I mean, that's really evident, and just the way you paced it through that last system was incredibly impressive. So, mate, you look after yourself. We're all thinking of you every minute of the day, mate. So first and foremost, look after yourself. Look after her down there, and we look forward to speaking to you soon.
So Mike Sanderson with Alex Thomson this morning. Mike, of course, former Sailor of the Year and winner of the Volvo race. Charlie Dullan, Alex Thomson, can he get back at Armel-Leclerc, do you think?
Well, yeah, it's still possible. Maybe not in the near future, but soon they're going to turn left at Cape Horn, and then that's going to be another match. You know, they'll have to the St. Helens High to tackle, and there will be opportunities to catch up for sure.
Meantime, you're a little bit of an expert on the ice situation and the monitoring of the ice. Just tell us a little bit about the ice wall and how you think that's playing out.
Well, like you have a wall which is about 14,000 nautical mile long. You know, it's crazy. You know, and the way it changes the race from my point of view is okay, you're in the south, but you've got this virtual wall you can't cross, and I think it's an element of stress, an extra element of stress for the races. Well, obviously there is a safety part because you don't want to, you know, it's hard enough to be in a southern ocean. You don't want to, you know, play Russian roulette with the icebergs. So on the other side, you absolutely don't want to cross it regarding penalty issues. And I think when you're getting close to it, it's definitely another element of stress and another element to which worries your mind if it's not already to you know.
But in general, how do you play your strategy with regard to the ice wall? How far ahead are you looking at it?
Well, the way we thought about it with Ian Elias is that when the winds were coming from the northwest, that means pushing towards the ice wall. The limit Ian fixed himself was a 30 nautical mile. Yeah. That means 10 miles at. That means 3 hours at 10 knots. So that's 3 hours at 10 knots is enough time to repair like something before, you know, when you repair something on this boat, often you have to go dead downwind. Yeah. And 3 hours normally should give you enough time to fix something before going into the wind again. So that's the limit we fixed. When the wind is blowing towards the ice wall, obviously when the wind is parallel or pushing away, it's not the same limit.
Thanks, Charlie. The meteo situation just now, well, the three who are in the storm are not quite out of the woods yet, but let's look at the situation for the fleet at the moment. Situation with this big storm underneath New Zealand and Australia is still fairly delicate. It's still evolving. Looking first of all at the situation with Paul Mea and Jeremy Bayou. They're in reasonable conditions in terms of the overall picture. Still in front of the front, so they have slightly flatter water, but they're still expecting gusts of 60 knots. If we look at the situation tomorrow, then you can see they're just on the curve of the front edge of the low. They're still 50, 60 knots in the gusts, and at the moment fairly cloudy and squally for them. Moving to look at the group behind, the situation for them, well, still difficult, particularly with sea states for Jan Elias and for Jean Le Cam. They had 45, 50 knots as averages, and the situation for them does start to change for tomorrow. If we look at tomorrow for them, then they're moving forward in 40 knots of northwesterly breeze. Going back to look at Jean Le Cam's situation at the moment in the Bass Strait, then he has had lighter breezes. He's enjoyed the shelter of Tasmania, 30 knots as he's come through, and he comes out into the top of the low into 25, 30 knots, so a good move for Jean-Pierre Dick. Then at the head of the fleet, to the situation at the moment, well, as we see, Alex Thomson just got a little bit less breeze as he reaches the difficult part of this low pressure system. It's quite light for him at the moment, 10 to 15 knots. Meantime, Armel-Leclerc in the south there it's got a little bit more. Now, if we look at the situation for them tomorrow, then Alex is closer to the centre of the low pressure, gets more breeze. Meantime, Armel moves forward into the lighter pressure on the edge of this high pressure system that they're coming to. So gains for Armel just now, but tomorrow we might see Alex Thomson making some mileage back. Then looking at the situation in the second half of the fleet, first of all, the key thing is this arrival of this depression for the group at the back. In particular, also looking at Peter Harima has around about 40 knots up on the top part of the depression. This is the most wind he's had for some time. That should pass for him fairly quickly, but Didac Costa in 40 knots at the moment, and the group behind, that's Roman Atanasio and Sebastien Desmarau just in the back of the front. If you look at the middle of the high pressure system, then they're just under the curve of the high pressure system. Then you have this this group of three. They have good conditions on the curve with 25, 30 knots, and looking further forward, then still great conditions for Louis Burton. He's had this this system for 4 or 5 days now, and he's been going fast all the time. And at the front there, Thomas Riong just descending close to the Antarctic exclusion zone, but these depressions are arriving for them all the time, and quite muscular conditions over the course of tomorrow for the group in second, but everything going on in the weather situation at the moment. So that's the meteo situation just now. Guillaume, 30 seconds summary of Jean-pierre Dick in the Basque Straits. What was he saying this morning?
I explained us he chose this option because he doesn't like to wait in the middle of the storm. He prefers to be safe, and he told us he was really close to the land, so he saw wind turbines, and he smelled weird things like sulfur or something like this, and now he will go back. He loses one position, but he doesn't mind.
He's kept himself safe. That's Jean-pierre Dick through the Basque Straits for the first time ever. Thank you very much to Madame l'Ambassadrice. Do join us again over the course of the race. We'll speak with Enda O'Coineen. Charlie Dallin, thank you very much. Same applies to you. Please do come back and join us. And Guillaume, you'll be back tomorrow. Meantime, thank you very much to you all for watching. Join us again tomorrow. Our guest will be Jerry Trontezeau, French offshore sailing champion. And we'll be here, same time, the same place. Please do join us.